This is Michael Lukes with After School, and this is the 5 Minutes with a Teen Difference Maker interview series, a collaborative effort between After School and our partner Peace First. Today we're speaking with young changemaker Mary Patricia Hector, founder of Think Twice. Mary, thanks a lot for joining me. Could you give us a quick 30-second overview, we're having an interview, of Think Twice?
Think Twice is a shock ad campaign that was really created to encourage people to think twice before picking up a gun and using it on another person. We use the shock ad as a means to really humanize violence happening within our country because we've become so desensitized to different forms of gun violence in America today.
So a lot of people are passionate about a certain topic, but few of us step up and act on it. What inspired you to take action instead of just going about your life?
By the time I was 15 years old, I had attended more funerals than graduations. And I actually had to bury my best friend by the time she was 15, before she couldn't even see her 15th birthday. And when you are dealing with so many things in your community, you look around and you ask yourself, where are the Dr. Kings? Where are the, Gloria Steinems? Where are these people who, we've seen and we've heard about make a difference? Where are they at for me in my community? And you notice that they're not around. And it's either you can sit around and wait for someone to save you, or you can be that change that you want to see. And I think that's what really prompted me to be more involved in the Start the Think Twice campaign.
And when you decided to start the campaign, what were your first couple of steps that you took?
So prior to it becoming a campaign, I knew that I wanted to do something regarding gun violence, but I honestly wasn't sure what exactly it was. But I didn't know how I could do so. And the answer came on TV. I was watching a Truth.com commercial, and I thought to myself, this is gross. This guy's putting this hole in it, his finger in the hole in his neck, and he's talking. And it made me just turn away. But I noticed that within me, I'm like, I don't want to smoke cigarettes. So the first step was really trying to figure out what it was that I wanted to do regarding the issue that was impacting my community. The second was doing research to see if shock ads really worked, and I found out that shock ads do work. The third step for me was trying to figure out, how I could go about creating a shock ad campaign.
And what was the hardest obstacle you had to overcome, and how did you overcome it?
The hardest obstacle that I had to overcome would have to have been receiving the actual funding for the campaign itself. When you think about a shock ad campaign, I literally had no funds to put behind this great idea. And every time that I would go and ask people to support me in my endeavor to really decrease violence in my community and all over the country, really, people thought it was a great idea and it was cute, but they weren't going to put the funds behind me and that great idea. And it wasn't until Peace First that, I was able to even put billboards up in the city of Atlanta to kick off the Think Twice campaign. But the hardest thing would have to be people taking me serious as a young person and really investing in my dream and my vision.
So how do you get people to take you seriously? Was it just your continued effort on this? Was it something else? How were you able to get their attention and get them to take you seriously?
Actually just doing it. I think that once people see your continued effort, once they continue to see your passion and that you're really serious about something, then they begin to take you serious as a person. Oftentimes, and I've been battling this recently, people associate your experience and your passion with your age, but that cannot be any further than the truth. Just because I'm young does not mean that I lack the passion or the capability of accomplishing something like running, an organization or starting a campaign and making it actually work. And so I think that's what really made people begin to see that while she is young, she still has this passion and this need and drive to really decrease violence within her communities and others, and we need to support her.
Great. And there are so many different ways to reach people. I'm sure you went through several. You mentioned looking into different avenues. Why did you decide to use billboards for the campaign, and why do you think they were so successful?
The reason why I decided to use billboards specifically is because normally when you're, and I put the billboards in specific places for specific reasons. Many billboards were near stoplights. Many billboards, were near the expressways where you'd have to see them, near the signs, to see where you were going. And the reason why I did this was because you couldn't ignore it. And you couldn't ignore this giant picture that really appalled you. When I did ads on Facebook and others, it's so easy, and it'll actually show you, like, these are how many people actually clicked on your post, and these are how many people it reached. Just because it reached this amount of people doesn't mean that people actually stopped to see it.
So, and what are you currently working on? What are your efforts that you're looking forward to?
As of now, I am currently running for office in the state of Georgia. I'm not the youngest woman qualified, so if I win, I'll be the youngest woman elected. And really the main thing that I'm really working on is, of course, possibly becoming elected in the state of Georgia, but also seeing how I can really create means of prevention regarding issues such as violence happening within my community. And I say this because that's how it all started for me. Growing up in DeKalb County in Stone Mountain, young people were dying because there was really nothing else for them to do. There was nothing else to keep them out of trouble, to keep them off of the streets. There were no recreation centers in walking distance. There were no people that were there for the people within my community to say, I actually care about you, and to really teach us, a better way of life. And that's why, as elected city councilwoman, I want to create those means of prevention, investing in underused and underfunded centers such as the recreation centers or libraries, turning them into innovation labs and after-school programs and incubators that can really, I believe, prevent methods of crime like gun violence impacting teenagers and especially people of color within my community.
Congratulations on your decision to run. When's the election, and how can people support your running for office?
Yes, so the election is actually in 2 weeks, March the 21st, 2017. And people can support my efforts in running for office by visiting my website, and that's MaryPatHector.com.
Awesome. And based on your experience, if someone wants to take action on a cause they care about, but maybe they're not quite sure how to get started, what should be their first couple of steps? What would you recommend they do to begin?
The first step would be take that leap of faith. Oftentimes we have these ideas and we want to do something, but we never do it. And you just have to go ahead and put yourself out there and just do it and just try. So the first thing I would have to say is don't be afraid to take a leap of faith. You'll never know what will come out of it once you do. The second thing would have to be do your research and find out information and gain knowledge on the issues that we have become so passionate about and issues that impact our community.
And last question here, how can the Peace First Challenge help young people make a positive impact on the world?
I think the Peace First Challenge can help young people make a positive impact on the world by really encouraging them to actually do something while also showing them other young people that are already making a difference despite them being young.
Great. Mary Pat, thanks again for joining me and for your efforts to stop gun violence and for getting involved running for office. That's awesome. To learn more about the Peace First Challenge and to get involved today, visit peacefirst.org and scroll over the challenge heading to get started.